Hello, how are you, Leigh and Chris?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. Where are you?
We are sitting in our living room because this is where the magic happens with the podcast, you see.
Oh, yeah.
We always record in here.
Yeah.
Although I said to Chris, go grab the halos. We've got these new halo lights.
Oh, yeah.
And he's forgotten them. So we're just using the sunlight. It's fine.
At least it's a sunny day today. Happy days.
Exactly. Now, you've got the, it's the rare accolade of being the first married couple I've had on the Pod 20 on Podcast Radio.
Still married as well. Isn't that good?
How long has it been?
Do you know it's coming up to our 1 year anniversary
Yeah.
in about a month or so.
Yeah.
And we're really looking forward to that. But I think given that what a lot of couples have in their first year of marriage, 3 lockdowns is quite good going.
Difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The relationship's in good shape then?
Well, we're still together.
No,
so...
actually,
Okay.
it's actually on air. We're nice to each other, but really behind the scenes, it's like Fleetwood Mac in here. It's like can't talk to you until showtime.
No, it's been it's been quite an unusual year, hasn't it, for everybody? I think
sure.
even since the day we got back from our honeymoon, it was lit straight into lockdown, wasn't it?
Because we came back on it was March the 5th, like 14th, 15th last year.
Yeah.
Sorry, 2 years ago now, is it? Or is it technically last year? Oh, no, because it's 2021.
Yeah,
anyway, I know what day it is.
You're right, Han.
Last year we came back in March, and a week later it was lockdown. So since then, the roller coaster started. So.
Well, there are worse things to happen to newlyweds than having to be locked down together, if you know what I'm saying.
That could be true, I'm sure, yes. And actually, we've been playing games a lot, haven't we?
It's just given us more time to play more games, basically.
And you've been watching Orange is the New Black at the moment.
Oh, my. So basically, when I watch a series... I don't stop. It's continuous.
You started 3 days ago. And
what season 3?
Season 3.
Right.
Season 3.
I'm in the shower watching it, and then I'm like,
she watches it through the shower door.
Yeah.
Can't even hear it.
So to explain who you are and what you're about, is it too much of a shorthand to say that Leigh, you are TV, and Chris, you are radio?
I think that's good.
Yeah, basically.
Through podcasts,
but through podcasts, you bring the two mediums together.
Exactly.
You marry the two mediums together, let's face it.
Oh, very good.
So they're paying the big
you had your cornflakes this morning.
So let's get the background then. Leigh, you're from Yorkshire.
I am, yeah. I'm a Yorkshire lass, born and raised in Wakefield, which is just next door to Leeds. And I'm gradually making my way further south, so until I met this one, because you are from London, aren't you?
There's a place called Morden at the end of the Northern Line, if you've ever been there, right at the south side of London, where I grew up, and I've lived there for a lot of my life until we obviously moved together. So yeah, I'm a radio person though, so I don't really go in for the looking good. Whereas of course, as you can see, quite clearly.
Oh, thank you.
So how did you meet?
So
you love to tell this story.
All right, that's a story.
Yeah.
So basically, I went to university in Lincoln, which is in the Midlands, and I ended up working at the local BBC radio station there called BBC Radio Lincolnshire, and I did a number of jobs there. But at the time that I met you, I was the breakfast reporter for the breakfast show. And
they brought me in to kind of like on a freelance basis just to cover their drive time show. So I was just doing kind of bits and pieces, and this one walked in one day, didn't it?
No, actually, I remember it that you walked in. The boss walked you in, and I heard his voice, and I like kind of nudged my friend and said, "I'm having a bit of that posh totty. It's a bit of me."
Did you actually say that?
And then I found out he had a girlfriend, so I was like, "Oh, okay." So we remained friends for a long time.
Yeah. There were some times where you would make stuff for the show that I was doing, and so there's a really funny bit actually, because you did the odd show as well.
I presented on the radio station as well.
She hands over to me on the radio. It's the only time this has ever happened, and she goes, "Now it's time for Chris Berrows," and she gets my surname wrong.
Berrows.
on air.
Berrows.
And now it's one of the surnames that you have, which I think
now I have that surname.
Because we're Milner Berrows technically.
Anyway, so skip to the good part. So you broke up with your girlfriend, and you were feeling very sad. I did what any kind of good friend would do, and be like, they're there. here's a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And we hit it off straight away.
Yeah.
Didn't we? Started dating.
Much. Yeah. That was 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
But as soon as we got together, I got a job in Norwich at the TV station there for BBC Look East. And within 4 months of being together, we moved in together. He came to Norwich to live with me.
Yeah. So I moved up. That was the furthest north I've ever been, Norwich.
So what were you doing for work then, Chris?
So I started off at the beginning as a phone answerer for the Jeremy Vine show. So I used to take calls from people on any topic under the sun. But it helps me it cuts your teeth in journalism, because eventually you write little bits for the scripts and stuff, and you start to put little, audio clips together. And all of that time I was listening to podcasts and stuff, and I loved listening to podcasts. It was like my favorite thing. So it was quite a nice way of kind of getting in. And I eventually just sent out some of these things that I'd made to all the local radio stations across the country, and a couple of them said, we've got one afternoon show here, we've got something here. And that's kind of what led me to Lincolnshire, actually, to meet Leigh. Was the phone just happened to ring up there, and they just happened to need someone to cover drive time. I think originally it was for like a month, and then it got extended to 3 months, and then I did an afternoon show for like 6 months. And I drive all over, so I get about. As my wife says, I get about a bit.
Yeah.
So.
But you've been doing a lot for Radio 4 as well, though.
Yeah, quite a recent development, actually. In fact, this is coming up to 1 year of doing Radio 4. The route to Radio 4 was actually, because I did a music degree at university, and I went to Radio 3 first of all, and I said, do you need someone who knows how to say words, which and who knows a bit about classical music as well? And it was a very good time, because the proms that year was a little bit short-staffed. So it was the perfect email timing of my life. I don't know why. Just, when you just send the email on the right day, and the actual boss responded, the actual boss of Radio 3, Alan Davey. And anyway, I did all the tests and stuff. I ended up at 3, and the guy who runs 3 also does the rota for Radio 4. So he liked what I was doing, and I sort of have been brought in to Radio 4.
What floor are you on?
I'm on the 4th floor at Radio 4, yes,
Sometimes I work for the BBC News Channel and BBC Breakfast, but I'm based in the basement.
She's on -1.
-1, no windows. Just typing away my stories, and then
frantically typing.
You're on the 4th floor, and we meet in the middle. Yeah. And sometimes we have midnight little get-togethers in the canteen and have dinner together.
That's true.
There's a little fact.
That is actually true.
There's another discrepancy in the hierarchy as well that doesn't make sense, because traditionally you think TV is, I don't know, a sexier medium than radio.
Oh, it's not.
But there's a perception. But you've just showed one discrepancy there, where TV's in the basement and radio's on the 4th floor. The other one is that, Chris, you have a blue tick on Twitter, but Leigh, you don't.
Graham, thank you so much for bringing this up. I really appreciate. Thank you so much for bringing this up.
It really annoys me.
I really appreciate you bringing this up.
You only got in when they were giving them to everybody.
I don't want to hear this. It looks like I am a man of importance and influence.
Yes.
According to Twitter, which is obviously the arbiter of who's important.
You're loving this, aren't
Whereas,
you?
I feel bad for you. No,
I'm not getting into this. We talk about this all the time.
No, I'll tell you the truth is that Leigh deserves it more than me, but she was a bit late to the
party.
The old times when you could actually apply to be verified. And the week that we were just about to do it for you, they stopped the whole process. And right. I think it's still. I think they're just about to.
I can't believe you even brought this up, Graham.
This is my favourite question of any interview we've ever had.
What's this one?
This is the best question I've ever had, because normally she wins at everything.
Well, after this, I'll get a blue tick.
You get a blue tick.
Okay. Well, let's hope so. And let's. I didn't. A year of marriage without any problems until this very moment. I feel kind of guilty for bringing it up.
It's your fault, Graham. We're getting divorced because of you.
But I just had to know. Okay, so the podcast is called Naked Gaming, and we should explain that you don't do the gaming naked.
Yeah.
But you're involved, Chris, with Naked Scientist. What's the connection there?
So basically, the Naked Scientist is the kind of one of the earliest podcasts, actually. We're talking like 12, 13 years ago, maybe 14 years ago even. Dr. Chris Smith, who is the Naked Scientist, kind of took the name after Jamie Oliver's The Naked Chef. So that's kind of the origins of the name. And he started to branch out into lots of different directions. So there's like an astronomy side, there's a biology side, there's a chemistry side. There's lots of different strands, excuse me, of the Naked Scientists. And he wanted to do a gaming one. And I said to him, I absolutely love gaming. It's, I've been gaming since the age of 3, and you're a huge gamer as well. So he's kind of came up with the idea.
You didn't pick me to do it in the beginning. It's fine.
No, Leigh wasn't the original co-host of the Naked Gaming podcast.
You knew Leigh at that time as well?
And we moved together at that time as well. Yeah, because the podcast is 2.5 years old.
Exactly, Graham. Exactly.
I checked. So what happened was Dr. Chris wanted one of his fellow scientists to do it with me, a brilliant girl called Georgia Mills, and she did a couple of episodes, and then it just so happened that she went on to get another job, basically, because she's brilliant. And I was looking around for a co-host, and I looked at Leigh and I went, yeah, no. So I got my friend Alex Rhodes to do a couple of episodes with us. That's episode 3 and 4, and then Leigh kind of nudged me a bit more, and then I actually realised that she knew huge amounts about
I nudged you. You nudged me when you literally couldn't get anybody else. So you were like, "Can you do it?" I'm like, "Oh, okay."
But actually, Leigh's a professional TV news reader, so she does the gaming news and knows a huge amount about gaming. So it was the best decision I ever took 4 months to make.
Yeah. And that has all worked out then. You're still not. It's not like Leigh's sitting in until you find this co-host that you're looking for.
I can confirm exclusively, Graham, to you now and to podcast radio and to everybody that Leigh is the official co-host of the Naked Gaming.
Fantastic.
Oh, it's on my Twitter, so there you go.
Oh, now
it must be true.
When it's verified, it will be.
Now, for anyone that's not heard it, and I must admit, like, I'm not a gamer, but when I came to the podcast first, I thought, I'm not a gamer. What am I going to get out of this? But it is great. What was the thinking behind it? Do you originally think, well, this is for gamers and we'll see if anyone else likes it, or did you go into it thinking, we'll just make a great podcast that happens to be about gaming?
I think it actually, we thought, let's make it for non-gamers who might be just thinking gaming's in the news all the time at the moment. There's so much about it, and people might be going, God, maybe my kids play Fortnite and I don't know anything about Fortnite. Or just how can we get people who are sort of wondering about gaming to be interested in it? And we thought the entertainment had to come almost ahead of anything else. Yeah. So it's like entertainment first, and then we have kind of gaming news, but we cut it right back.
I think
don't we?
what works is that kind of, Chris, you are more of a geek.
Oh, I'm like a hardcore gamer. Like, I play games for like 20 hours.
He is a hardcore gamer. Yeah. Now, I'm like the kind of, I am the audience, basically, because I've grown up with gaming. So, from the age of 6, I got my first console. I had the Sega, I had the PlayStation. I love a game. I've had them all, and I really, really love gaming. But I'm not like an absolute kind of geek who is committed to it. I can pick up a game and then drop it, whereas you've got to kind of look at everything in detail. And I think that's what helps, because when Chris knows so much about the game and the gaming industry, I can give a different perspective that probably the audience is actually thinking and asking the same sort of questions.
You asked the question, because I try it, you obviously try as hard as you can to keep it. You don't want to put in any unusual terms. Like, once you start saying FPS, even that, first-person shooter, you've got to really say. So if I said first-person shooter, you might go, okay, but someone who hadn't even heard that, you'd have to say, so that's games like Call of Duty and shooters,
or platformers,
or if you're explaining what a platformer is, you've got to give examples of it. But Leigh kind of makes me do it.
And I think you've got to nowadays, because I think for so many decades, gaming's been pigeonholed into this sort of category that unless you're a nerd or a geek or whatever, or you're sitting in your bedroom, then you don't know anything about gaming. When actually gaming's for everybody, whether you pick up a Game Boy or you just like a bit of playing on the PlayStation. You don't have to be dedicated to it. You might just like gaming,
Yeah, for sure.
So, and it seems that you complement each other, because Chris, from my hearing it, you seem to like the latest games, but Leigh, you're more of a fan of the retro kind of game.
Massive. I think it's because I love all the retro games. I love simple kind of, they're called platformer games. Things that just kind of take, when you've had a busy day at work, I like just to come home and just to kind of switch off, and it's just an alternative to watching a movie for me.
Yeah.
Whereas you will buy a brand new game and be like, right, leave me alone, lock the doors, get a pizza. I am going to finish this game.
Well, I would call myself like a completionist. So if I start playing The Witcher 3, I want to get my money's worth. I want to play 60 hours worth of the story. I want to find every little side thing. I really want to play the game and experience it fully. That you wouldn't. You played that game, but you just play it for like a couple of hours and then you.
It's the cutscenes as well.
Oh, she always get right. You know what a cutscene is? It's like the films in games. Like, so when you start a game and there's a sort of setup movie.
They're like movies as well. They're really, really
okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Some of them in some games are like 20 minutes long.
Too long.
So you're sitting there going, when do I get to?
It's too long.
When do I get to play this
basically just keep pressing X and keep like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, and I skip it all. And Chris is having a meltdown in the background, going, they've literally spent most of their money on this part of the game, and you're literally skipping it.
Right. So there's a game called The Last of Us 2, which made lots of news headlines. It's probably the biggest game of last year. Okay. They spent millions of pounds making.
Should make them too long then.
No, they make people wear the little bubbles. You've seen those things where people wear bubbles like this, and they capture their movements and their face.
Yeah.
So they spend millions of pounds doing these things.
Well, they've wasted millions of pounds.
She just skips it
because it's too long. I've got stuff to do.
I can't.
I just want to kill some bad guys.
I can't be doing that.
Get the stress out.
Oh, it stresses me out when you do that.
And what podcasts inspire you then?
Comedy for me. Comedy has always been the way. I started with Ricky Gervais and Carl Pilkington and Stephen Merchant with their kind of original X-radio. What was it called then?
It was XFM then. Now,
XFM. Now it's Radio X, isn't it? But XFM podcast. And also the Russell Brand Show on Six Music, and then when it went to Radio 2. I know that's not technically a podcast, but I followed it as a religious kind of podcast experience. So that for me was just.
What's the one that I always listen to? The other married couple.
She likes the one with the other married couple. I think it's Rosie and. Shags Married Annoyed. Shags Married
That's
Annoyed.
it. Yeah, which is always top 5 on the Pod 20. Always top 5. Yeah.
We're thinking, we're a married couple. We could like do a marry off kind of thing.
We were thinking about doing something like that. It's still in this kind of still might happen. It's
a good podcast. That I think it's got to be comedy, hasn't it? I mean,
comedy for me.
That's the thing that kind of makes you switch off. I am looking for new podcasts about dance music at the moment.
Yeah, dance music.
Right. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of like Ibiza rave. There's not that many.
I've been to Ibiza 4 times. I love house music, and I've just started DJing in the spare bedroom, and I've got like it's really cool setup.
You want to show them it, don't you? But you can't.
So I'm actually looking for podcasts on house music and any like recommendations. That would be.
And is the plan to go gigging?
Oh well, when we can, yeah, defo. I'm a massive gigger. I love going to all.
No, as a DJ though, to gig as a DJ.
Well, I mean, a bit of practice first, but yes, sure. First gig will be in the back garden.
Right.
To me.
Yeah. I don't think the gig in the back garden, I don't think that's going to get you a blue tick.
Oh, well, it might if I live stream it. You wait till you hear it. It'll be amazing.
Okay, because Leigh, you got national press and still don't have a blue tick on Twitter.
I know.
With the catching the bloke watching. What was all that about? Just give us that story, because that was not that long ago, December, wasn't it?
So we went out for a walk, didn't we?
We went to one of our local parks.
We live in Epping Forest, and we're surrounded by forest, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
And we're very grateful during lockdown to have it.
100%.
So we went for a walk, didn't we?
I was driving because I saw one of the comment was, "Oh, you're driving and filming me," and it's like, obviously not as a BBC.
No.
Like
we were stopped at the traffic lights, and I just kind of like dazing off, and then this guy was just watching EastEnders on his phone. I mean, not just like trying to hide it either.
Like
he had it on the dashboard, just having a little bit of a watch, and I was like, what? And then I thought, he must put it away when we start going, and then he didn't. As we're kind of driving off, he's still watching EastEnders. So yeah, the journalist in me kind of snapped him, which I didn't mean to get him in trouble, but I was just like, come on. Someone could get really hurt. And then all of a sudden I had loads of requests from the Sun and everybody. And I was like, sorry.
It went big, didn't it? It went. Did it surprise you how big it went?
The funny thing was that they said to Leigh, "Can we please have permission to use your video?" And she said, "No, you cannot have permission to."
And then they still used it anyway.
And they still used it anyway.
You've at least got paid for it.
Had you put it on YouTube or something? Was it out there anyway?
I put it on Twitter.
Just Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I wonder if once it's out there, and they go.
Maybe it's okay. I mean, we could have probably got. I mean, what
I should have negotiated a price, man. I just like pay me £200 and you can have it. Like, no, but I do all this hard work, you see, Graham, and then that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It seems to me, Chris, you were the one driving, but you didn't get the publicity from that, though. It was all Leigh.
I've got enough with my blue tick, to be honest. So I just trying to.
Oh my God!
Just trying
this
to.
is literally going to be throughout the whole entire interview.
You're just trying to share the love. Yeah, well, that's
People
why you're in a successful marriage, my friend. That's
fine. I have a holiday now anyway, so it's fine.
Oh, now you have. Oh, okay. You see the competitiveness between us. This is what it's like all the time.
Yeah. So what's next then for Naked Gaming? What's coming up?
Tell you what, you met kind of the marriage of video and radio and stuff like that. We've just started doing a few more video versions of the podcast.
Yes.
Just because it's not like talking to you now. It's nice to see you as well as to hear you. And I love your studio setup.
You've got a good setup.
I like that's some soundproofing going on right there.
But this is actually my wardrobe. I've just ordered today. Actually, I've just ordered today a proper sound booth from. They're called Cube. They're actually in Yorkshire. They're in they're in Ripon, and they're called Cube with a K, and they make proper sound. I've just ordered one today, so I'll be moving out of the wardrobe soon.
Apparently, you get some free Yorkshire tea with that as well with your order.
Do you? Yeah. Okay, good. Oh, good to know. Yeah.
But we're kind of doing a bit of that, but we're also starting to, because we did sort of one big episode every month, which we put we put our all into, and it's to either like half an hour to an hour kind of top quality stuff, and we're doing that still, and we're also now kind of doing a few little bonus bits through the month because we'd like to be on like 3 times a month kind of thing.
I think there's more of a demand for it at the moment. I think with everybody in lockdown, more people are gaming, obviously, and especially with kids at the moment, because, they might spend a day learning, even on the Xbox or the PlayStation, so that kids can learn on those as well. And then they're thinking, actually, we'll carry on and have a little bit of a, play on the PlayStation or the Xbox straight after. So we are seeing more people kind of getting into gaming, not just kids either.
Yeah.
The older generation as well, which is good to see. Actually, we've had more requests, haven't we, for it?
Huge amount of requests. We started doing giveaways as well, which has been fun.
Yeah.
Although we're giving away some of the stuff that we actually want. So
yeah.
Well, that's a bad idea, isn't it? Well, it clears clutter. Yeah. I suppose,
because we want it. But you're currently balanced. The laptop is currently balanced on
the prize
on Mario Kart 5 home circuit.
Wow. Yeah. So there's a plug. So listen to the Naked Gaming podcast, and you could actually win what is underneath me
now.
You
literally can. You actually can on the 21st of Feb, I think it is.
Yeah, but on top of that, you've got also the chessboard that we just bought.
Oh yeah, we got a chess Gambit. We got a chess set because of the Queen's Gambit, which is. Have you seen the Netflix series? Where it's about the. It's like a female chess player who starts off in a care home, and then she gets taught by the janitor to play chess, and then she goes on to be kind of a chess champion, and she's amazing.
That's why everyone's buying chessboards now.
I see. No, I haven't seen that yet. That's on Netflix, is it?
Watch it. It's really good.
It's a good one. But what we then did was, because me being the gamer geek, I looked up artificial intelligence in chess and how good is AI, basically. Can you ever beat computers nowadays? Because that used to be a big thing.
Until Deep Blue did it, wasn't it? Was
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, exactly that. And now, in fact, our very next sort of bonus podcast is chess and AI. And the latest one is called Alpha Zero, which was developed by the team who did Deep Blue. And they are saying that you just can't beat the computer now. A human grandmaster cannot beat the computer.
We spoke to a grandmaster.
We spoke to Natasha Regan, a female, woman international master at chess, and she has followed the journey of AI through the ages, and it's crazy. They play computers against each other now.
Really?
There's the AI Chess World Championship is happening as we speak.
So there's a chance. There's a chance then an actual grandmaster at chess could watch that to learn how to play better from the machine.
That's
what
they do.
Listened to our podcast?
Have you heard
the next one?
Have you heard our podcast already?
Is that the next one? Is it?
That's the next one coming out on the 1st. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. So check that out. You get it wherever you get your podcasts. You download it. It's on Apple. It's everywhere. It's the Naked Gaming Podcast. And if you'd like to find out more about Chris Berrow and Leigh Milner, what do they have to do?
You can find us on Twitter. Just look for the verified tick for one of us. You can also find at Naked Gaming Pod. There's Instagram. Tell about Instagram.
Oh, thanks, Leigh. Yes, we are on Instagram now, which is going to be more popular than Twitter. So
she's bigger on Instagram than me.
We're at Naked Gaming Pod.
Great. And if you want to listen to the Pod 20 and find out exactly where Naked Gaming ends up on the chart, we're on 5 o'clock on Fridays on Podcast Radio. Not this week. This week is, if you're watching this live now on YouTube, this week is actually a good episode. It's Paul Blanchard, the PR guy who does the Media Masters podcast. So Paul is the special guest this week. You'll be on in about 3 weeks or thereabouts time. And you'll probably be on for weeks after that because I clip the whole thing and you keep coming back as the podcast climbs the charts.
Oh, very good.
Hopefully.
Can't wait. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's on Podcast Radio. Chris Berrow and Leigh Milner, thank you very much.
Thank you.